Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Valley Huddle. Tough one today in State College, PA, as James Franklin literally makes a case for him to be fired today as the Nittany Lions lose at home to the Northwestern 22-21. They had to win out to kind of keep their national title playoff hopes alive. Well, guess what? That is done. I don't even think now that they are going to get a New Year's Day bowl. I think they will be the bowls leading up to New Year's Day. That's if they become bowl eligible, which I can now see that they are just what they are. They are mediocre. They were overhyped. They're not a good football team. They're not a good coached football team. Andy Kolasecki is a horrible offensive coordinator. James Franklin is a horrible head coach, and I'm not really impressed with Jim Knowles either. Jim Knowles has been, not good. He was supposed to come here and fix a defense, and for a little bit they were good, but then again they were against teams with lesser talent than themselves. You start seeing the cream rise, the talent level starts rising up, and now 3 straight weeks, Penn State cannot win a game. I hope James Franklin, I hope I get my wish tomorrow morning. I hope I hear tomorrow morning that he has been relieved of his duties because he has sucked for the last 7 years. I'll give him his first 5 years. He was coming in here trying to establish a culture. I'll give him that. But again, how many more times can we relive that great magical moment of Penn State beating Ohio State back in 2016? That's 9 years ago. It's 9 years ago. And you really think that they're going to stay in the class of Ohio State after this one? Nah, man. Penn State's bad. They are very bad. And I'll tell you what, they deserve everything that they get, any venom that they get. James Franklin's just not a good football coach. He's just not a good football coach. He's not. And as far as I'm concerned, he's a joke in Penn State. And now Drew Allert's hurt. Drew Allert is hurt. So we're going to have to wait and see now what comes about his injury as he was carted off today. So let me get to some of your comments. I've been wanting Franklin out of here for 7 years. To me, he brings nothing to the table other than recruiting. He's a good recruiter. But as far as making in-game adjustments and getting his team prepared, how is your team not prepared? You got your ass handed to you a week ago across the country. And to come back and do what they did here today on homecoming. It's just, they're bad. Adam checking in says, James Franklin sucks ass. Get him out of here. He can't get the team up for anyone. Come on. Eagles fan checking in. I don't know what that is, bub. So, Adam, again, he can't beat top teams. That's the truth. He can't. Hakeem the Dream checking in. He says, Coach Franklin is a good man, a great recruiter, an average coach, and a horrible in-game coach. I think I just said that. I'm pretty sure he's probably a nice guy, but I think he's a little full of himself too. If you watch his press conferences, they're mildly entertaining. Like you would think this guy's got 4 or 5 national championship trophies behind him in his trophy case. It's how he talks. He talks like, makes the people in the media and people that are watching his team a bunch of idiots when you listen to him talk. I hope the news I hear tomorrow is that he is fired. I don't want him to finish the season. Get his ass out of Happy Valley. I've been saying it for 7 years. He sucks. He can recruit. What's good about recruiting talent if you can't put a winner on the field? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You look at some of the coaches that kind of moved in and out of the Big Ten over the last couple of years. I'm going to keep harping on Luke Fickell. If Luke Fickell's the coach of this team instead of James Franklin, yeah, they probably go to the national title game. They probably beat Ohio State at least once or twice. They're not owing forever against them in Michigan. And now Oregon coming to the Big Ten, they can't seem to beat Oregon. They lost to them last year, lost to them again this year. Okay? They got smoked by a very bad UCLA team. Got smoked. And then to go off, now you come in and you lose to Northwestern. Which, by the way, Northwestern's improved. I like their defense. I really do. But Penn State's now 3-3, and they're 0-3 in the Big Ten. Let that sink in for a minute here, guys. They're 0-3 in the Big Ten. They got Iowa coming up next week. They got to go to Iowa next week. They may lose out. I hope they do. I think this team's quit on James Franklin. I think he's quit. I think they quit on him. The message definitely isn't getting done. My partner in crime checking in. He said Franklin should have been fired 2020, 2021. No, I'd have fired his ass after the Saquon years when he had Saquon Barkley and still couldn't do nothing. Ricky checking in saying, "Go Flyers." You're on the wrong show for that one. Joe Paterno is probably rolling in his grave with Franklin coaching. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He says Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, or Alex Smith should be the next head coach at Penn State. I don't want any of them guys. I want a proven college guy. You got Urban Meyer sitting on Fox. Okay, you got Saban sitting over there. There's going to be other coaches that are going to be available. Yeah, get somebody else in here who can coach football. Luke Fickell might be out at Wisconsin. So I would love for them to go grab him. You bring Luke Fickell in here? Oh, Lord. I would love for him to be in here. He's so much a better coach than Franklin. Franklin's a scrub. And I mean that in the most politest way that I can say it. I'm pretty sure he's a nice man. I've never met Coach Franklin. But I am a Penn State fan, and all I can do is report on what I see in game. And what I see in game is his team never looked prepared to play. When they get beat, they get beat. Now, Northwestern today, again, what does Penn State, what's their offensive identity? Can anybody tell me? Because their offensive line just looks defeated. They look bad, man. Like, this was 4 bad quarters of football against a team they should have beaten. They should have beaten. And now they fall to 0-3. And it doesn't get any prettier after this, my man, because literally coming up, they have Iowa next week at 7 o'clock on Peacock. Then they got a trip to they go there. Then they're off for a week. Okay. Then November 1st, they take a nice little trip to Columbus. Their next 3 games are Iowa, Ohio State, and Indiana with a bye week in between. This is not going to be good. They finish up the regular season with at Michigan State, home against Nebraska, and then at Rutgers. This is bad. This has been a horrible job. This was supposed to be a year of them taking the next step, becoming a powerhouse. And what we thought were lions turned into lambs. This Penn State team is not very good right now. They just had a couple pretty good, highly talented recruits. They just decommitted from going. Why? Because of what they're seeing on the field. Who's going to want to come here and play with that? So, again, this, to me, this Penn State game, this has all been in a nutshell today. Drew Allard is, I think we got sold a bad bag of goods with him. He came in with all this hype and promise. And you know what? Probably, if he would have went to Ohio State, he probably would have been, Mr. All-World. Just the fact he got to Penn State and they screwed him up. And they did. I mean, Penn State did not do that kid any favors, but let's keep it a being too. He's not all world talent either. You know, a starting quarterback's supposed to help his team out. When he did have decent wide receivers a couple of years back, you know, he just wasn't good. And they went out and got him some more wide receivers this year. And again, he's not good. I mean, look at the throw to Ross, in the beginning of the fourth quarter. That play went for 64 yards. It literally doubled his yard output for the game. One pass doubled his yard output for the game. He was not having a good game. The offense looks like it's in shambles. I'll give Jim Knowles a little bit of time with his defense. He just came on this year. He's going to be there for a while. If they're smart, they'll keep him around as the defensive coordinator and then just go get somebody else. Kolnicki can go with Franklin. I don't like Kolnicki's offensive play calling. It's horrible. It is horrible. Again, they have no push when it comes to running the football. Okay, they don't. They have no. It seems like they don't have no heart. Like the offense has no heart. They have no identity. It's like kind of watching the Eagles on Saturday. That's the only way I can put it. Penn State's like watching the Eagles on Saturday. You know what I mean? They got star players and big-time players, but they're not being used. I'd like to see some type of, can we get Katron Allen and Nate Singleton in the game at the same time? Let's make these defenses start thinking a little bit. I mean, God, it is just embarrassing. And the fact that I got to come on here and talk about a 1-point loss to Northwestern, who, by the way, you were a 3-touchdown favorite against. And in our chat, our It's a Wrap chat, I told our guys from the other side of the state, I literally called it. I said, take Northwestern in the points. I didn't think Northwestern was going to win outright, but I knew Penn State wasn't going to blow them out either. I believe it was Will I referred to. I said, take Northwestern in the points. And I'll tell you, for me, guys, again, this has just been overwhelming. Like the last 8 days, from last Saturday to this Saturday, it has just been miserable to be a Penn State / Philadelphia sports fan. It's just miserable. Right now tonight, I mean, I'm hoping the Flyers can go into whatchamacallit, can go into Carolina and at least take one from the Hurricanes. And by the way, speaking of that, Clear the Ice is back. Matty B did it the other night. He was a part of the trifecta Thursday. So make sure you join Pat tonight. Pat will be on as he debuts that show as well. So make sure you guys definitely check in on Pat tonight because we need something here. Birds don't play till next Sunday. Flyers got a few games in between here and there. I'm not even talking about the Sixers. To me, they're just a waste of that's a waste of time to talk about them. If it isn't about Tyrese Maxey, I'm not talking nothing Sixers. So, again, this game, though, this game today was just, and this has been the life of a Philadelphia fan for the last 8 days, from Saturday to Saturday. It just does not get any prettier. This is the updated one of this past week, guys. So make sure, like I said, Pat will be following you guys right after this. And also, don't forget, tomorrow morning, me, Pat, and Al, 9 o'clock, as we get you ready. We were discussing future Phillies plans, a look ahead of what the Flyers, as their young season starts to go. I guess Pat will probably want to talk Sixers. I guess I'll have to talk Sixers with Pat. And other things, amongst other things. Make sure you guys tune in to see that. And then tomorrow night, that's right, the week kicks off with the man, the myth, the legend, Matty B. That's right, Sunday through Thursday, the final word. Make sure you tune in for that, guys. And then on Wednesday, that's right, Wednesday, props, locks, and parlays. Get you started on Wednesday nights here. with myself, Paul Spencer from over at Out of the Box, as we will be breaking down the lines for college and pro footballs coming up for the week. Then right after me, that's right, our boys out west. That's right, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. They will be joining you guys. And also, guys, I keep forgetting, and they're going to kill me, Will and the guys. I'm going to deeply apologize, guys. Steelers, pre and post. That's right, Steel City Sundays. Make sure you tune in for those guys. They will be on tomorrow. Probably around right before kickoff and right after the final whistle. They will be on pre and post. So make sure all our Steeler fans that are on the eastern side of the state, you can check into those guys as they get you ready for Steelers Browns. I think that should be a really good one tomorrow. Always a really good, I guess you could say, always a real good rivalry. Guys, the attacking third. They will be back on Thursdays, but guess what? We have a special one. That's right, Monday. Pat will be on at 9 a.m. in the morning for the attacking third. So make sure you tune in for a special Columbus Day edition of the attacking third. So Pat will be joining you with that. The Birds Flyby Thursday night with Kyle Coyne at 7 o'clock, and then followed by Gridiron Weekly. Again, the boys from out west, they take over. They give you their thoughts. I'm actually going to try to see if I can link up with Will and the guys, maybe get them on, see if they want to talk about it, because they actually go over point spreads as well through on Gridiron Weekly as they talk NFL and NCAA football. So maybe we can do a crossover with them guys and talk with them. Going to Friday, Pat, 10:30 for the wraparound. Make sure you guys tune in for Pat. Pat is the Bugs Bunny of It's a Raps Network. He's everywhere. He's like a rash. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And of course, I'll be back next Sunday with the Happy Valley Huddle. Probably after a after a loss to Iowa, because Penn State never plays well in Iowa, and losing him. Star Wars checking in. What's up, Star Wars? He said, fire James, losing Drew sucks. Having him with him sucked. He wasn't burning the world on fire. So how can you not win a championship when you had Saquon Barkley on your team? Ask James Franklin. Ask James Franklin. Star Wars, the season is over. Oh, excuse me. The season is over? Yeah. Yeah, you guys are going to be playing the Muddy Toilet Bowl in Detroit. So, Rob Hefner checking in from Vegas. Vegas Rob checking in, says Penn State blows, Franklin needs to go. This has been great. Finally, a lot of people are starting to come around to where I've been for the last 7 years with this dude. This dude's a fraud of a head coach. And you know what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot of mass exodus if they continue to keep him there. Penn State's really got to look at their football program now, and if they are going to be one of the, if they're going to be one of the better ones going forward, they're going to have to keep, their boosters are not going to contribute money to help build up their NIL if you got the same guy who can't win every year. And now you got alumni coming out and speaking against them. And I don't know if you heard or not, there's a video on Twitter going around of his introduction into, into the stadium when he got introduced, and he got booed out the building. He got booed out the building today. MP checking in goes, but hey, Franklin beat Villanova. Hey, listen, I'm going to be real frank. I watched that game. Villanova has one or two blue chippers on that team. They would have beaten Penn State. I know the score was 52-6, but I'm going to keep it a beam with you. The starting quarterback got hurt for Villanova in that game. Okay, and Nova put the ball Penn State had to work with short fields in that game. They didn't have to drive. But I'll tell you what, Penn State's offense was having a real tough time moving the ball against Nova's defense. And Indiana and the head coach I wanted 2 years ago, Kirk Congetti, just beat Oregon. I love it because I actually, if you watch Props, Locks, and Parlays, I took Indiana. I didn't think, I know I said last week, Oregon is probably, they were, to me, I felt like they were right for the picking. And that's really weird too. if you follow the pattern, they just lost at home, coming off a bye week, getting ready for Indiana. Like the Big Ten's been weird this year. Maybe Ohio State can go on a bye before they play Penn State. They can be all rusty or something. I don't know, man. That just seems to be weird. And UCLA today, what they went to East Lansing and put a beating on Michigan State. Beat them like 38-10 or something like that was the last score I seen. Illinois trying to keep it close. I think they ended up losing by 16 or something like that. Or no, they lost by 18. Lost by 18 to Ohio State. So, they try to keep it close. So, congratulations to Indiana. They went in there and beat up on Oregon. I took Oklahoma in this Red River rivalry game. Jesus God, was that a brutal loss. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you guys tune in for Pat later on today, as he will have you covered for the Clear the Ice. I almost said it's Fighting Final. He'll have you for Clear the Ice. There would have been a Game 5 tonight, but unfortunately our bats decided to only score 1 run. So, again, guys, I'm Mike Lyle. This has been the Happy Valley Huddle. Penn State goes down 22-21. How far does the slide go? And how long before I get my wish and James Franklin's out the door? You guys have a very good Saturday night. I will see you tomorrow morning for P&M in the AM, bright and early, 9 o'clock. Have a good night, guys. I'm